Alright, so what's up, and welcome to my channel. Check my vids where we are going to be enjoying everything from music, books, business ideas, and most popular opinion on a variety of subjects and situations. Courtesy of Imagine Writers Publishing, and I'm your entertaining host, rapper, author, and narrator, William Gates, also known as 2180, better known as Really Will 88. Coming to you live from the humble state of Florida, addressing the mad public. All right, and without further ado, let's get busy. Speaking of busy, I wanted to be known that I'm down to collab, market, or discuss any and all business of all sorts with anybody here, anytime. And I, shit, that also means that I'll be making available all of my ideas and resources. Keep in mind that I've been at this since 2018 and I learned a lot of stuff along the way. If you want to check some of these things out, you can do so by accessing the links below. So like, share, subscribe, and be sure to leave a comment below to open up the community. I'm answering any and all questions, so all you got to do is ask. All right, so jumping right into it, I'm gonna play a short clip of the situation and the topic of the day. I'm gonna let you familiarize yourself with the situation at hand, and then I'll give my opinion about whatever I'm thinking and questions I want you to answer concerning this situation. This situation is particularly important to me, considering the type of crime that occurred and the recent continuous rise in situations of this matter or surrounding these particular events or these type of circumstances.
Area? What brought you out here tonight? You just wanted to provide medical attention?
Provide medical attention to people that need it. Somebody's injured. Like, you get hurt, I'm grabbing you.
All right, so the video you just watched is a video recording from August of 2020. The young man featured in the video was a man that goes by the name of Kyle Rittenhouse. And this video specifically is on the night in particular where he was accused of killing two people that night and wounding one individual with AR-15 assault rifle during a Black Lives Matter protest in relations to recent event that was another tragic ending to the another young black male. Okay, so we all know that the situation in regards to the protest was due to the shooting of Jacob Blake, a 27-year-old black man. I'm guessing he's from Wisconsin. He was shot in the back several times by pursuing officers. And I mean, I don't know where you from, but where I'm from, I mean, anybody shot in flight, it is a criminal charge. But for some reason, these cops were justified in the shooting, and he was later paralyzed from the event. But they were justified in the shooting, and the people were still seeking reprimand and change from the lawless system, so to speak. In regards to the situation, considering how everything happened, and this situation was also backed by several other occurrences in the same matter of white officers shooting black males. Alright, so during this time, I'm gonna try to give as much clarity as I can on the opinion that I have surrounding the situation without taking a lot of time. So I'm gonna just jump right into it and give a brief explanation of the defendant and the situation and just everything that was surrounding that event that night, how it ended, how it could there was no other ending except for the one that was to be had on that night, and what I think the verdict should be, and my question to the public will be, what do you think the verdict is going to be, or what it should be, considering everything that happened. Okay, so Kyle Rittenhouse is a 17-year-old white male, recently turned 18. because I think he was 17 years old at the time the incident occurred. But a 17-year-old white male that had significant connections with different people in or around the state of Illinois. And he had considerable connections inside of smaller policing agencies, departments that were surrounding this area, and people who were involved in different type of situations with minor or significant connections with particular governmental entities within the U.S. It is to be believed that Kyle Rittenhouse had significant training in policing and EMS services. He was also there with an AR-15 assault rifle, leading me to believe that he was trained in the usage of that rifle. And considering his surroundings and the structure and the strategy that was set for that night, it is for me to assume that he was surrounded by considerable military personnel or people with that type of training, which also leads me to believe that he was trained in some form of combat. Some form of like army tactics and stuff like that. He had these trainings well, so that he believed that he could, without harm or casualty, he could assess and render aid to the situation at hand should it have gotten out of control, and he'd be able to defend himself, protect the people that he was around, and supply some type of service to the public. Obvious to me that the police or the EMC residing in that area were underproducing or could not produce. All right, so this is a perfect example of a situation where if you don't know what you're doing, how things can get out of control pretty fast, and most of the time situations like that do end in casualty. But it is for the public to believe that Kyle Rittenhouse originally came into Wisconsin to remove graffiti that was placed on several buildings and places in or around the Wisconsin area or the protest area, and that he was there to protect some property that was out there that was recently damaged. Mind you, Rittenhouse originally he first came to Wisconsin with no weapons, no EMS material, no product of defense, just his presence there to in the daytime, mind you, to remove graffiti and damage, help with damages that were being placed upon the city, burden upon the city during this time of protest. So he came there that morning, and he only had those intentions, but somehow by the end of the night, he ended up with not only a rifle, but his own rifle, a bulletproof vest, a EMS package, and he had rides, transportation throughout, and his night ended in the defense or the protection of the that small Wisconsin area and these smaller Wisconsin entities. All right, a couple concerning factors. One is Rittenhouse was a white man in opposition of the protest. Number two, he was a 17-year-old man with a rifle, which can only legally be obtained after the age of 18. Third, he was set in tactical advancement with his surrounding parties. There was a situation that just kind of boiled out of control. It seemed to be a mix of minds and a mix of reason as to how they got together and what they were going to do for that night. And everybody had their choice and how they were going to conduct themselves that evening. Rittenhouse had seemingly no connection to the local government or the local policing agencies. No contact, no connection, no discussion. He was armed. Several of them was armed, and he was never questioned. Local police never got involved with him. I mean, in a couple images, you'll see him actually around areas that local police agencies were there, and he was never questioned as to his reasons for being there. He was never questioned as to why he had a rifle. And in all of my days of understanding the U.S. First responders and stuff like that, no EMS has were ever armed. They were always backed by the policing agencies. They were never given any weapons, anything like that. He was active as if he was on a battlefield. He was armed, and he readied himself as if he was on a battlefield. And that's exactly how he conducted himself. He was under the guise of protecting a particular entity within Wisconsin, or that area, which was a car lot of some sort, which is another problem for me to believe, because out of this situation, 137 cars was burned up on this person's car lot. Not just one, though; it was several throughout the city. I think it was about 3 or 4. Almost seeming as if this was either planned, sabotaged, or targeted. I mean, 137 cars on several different car lots, and he was specifically given this burden of knowledge because these were particular events that's only surrounded one person, and it was a continuous act against one person. So he was set out in defense of this person or these persons' business within this specific area. Mind you, later on in the night, after realizing that these entities weren't going to be attacked anymore, he switched over to, now I will police and act as EMS personnel in or around a protest, which would eventually cause problems, because he had the to consider the all the possible outcomes. First, a white male with a rifle with no particular police statement on his attire, running around with a rifle, either stopping people from committing acts that he thought were criminal, or falling people who he was going to render aid to. Just a quick example, say somebody had fallen from being attacked from another person. How was he expected to stop this person from attacking this person without having to use his rifle if the person was in continuous assault? He had no connection, no walkie-talkie, no immediate communication with police and agencies. So 9 times out of 10, it would have ended up in the person being attacked, them attacking him for stopping the attack, and him having to defend himself. So he purposely placed himself in a position of from the outside looking in, possible self-defense. All right, so without much of my personal opinion or influence on this situation, I'm gonna get right to the question, and but I'm gonna finish off with this. In any event, I just question his reasons, because in any event, the only people that were ever being harmed inside of these protests were usually the individuals involved in the protest, and the harm usually came from the police that were guarding the specific events. So was he going to stop the police from hitting people with the tear gas, tasers, and batons and shields and stuff like that? I mean, was he going to stand next to them in pursuit of the individuals that were criminally active within the protest? I'm not sure what his reasons was, because within the protest they weren't attacking each other, so that's one thing. I honestly want to say there was a superior mistake on the police around that area. They seem severely incompetent. Is beyond ridiculous, and that's just specifically for that area. The worst part about it is nobody was trialed except for Rittenhouse. I mean, in regards to criminal activity, even the person, there's a case out here right now. I don't want to put it in the situation, but the person who actually set the situation up got a life sentence, versus the person who committed the actual murder. They got a life sentence, and the person who committed the actual murder got about 20 years. And that is only because they orchestrated the event. Kyle Rittenhouse did not orchestrate this event. All right, so in light of that, I just want to ask, do you think Kyle Rittenhouse is guilty? And if you think he is guilty, do you think he is guilty of the charges that they currently have against him, or what charges do you think should have been brought against him? I'm gonna list the charges in a second. But yeah, what do you think he's guilty of, or what is he not guilty of? Please answer the question in respects to the situation and what's being asked. Please be respectful. Leave your answers in the comments and just give your honest opinion about the situation. I wanted to try to get this out before he was actually found guilty because I didn't want any influences outside of that. Because I mean, once he's found guilty or not guilty, there'll be a heavier opinion on either side of that situation. So I kind of want to get the opinions prior to his actual verdict. So yeah, please just let me know what you think and what do you think the outcome of the situation is going to be. One thing you should always keep in mind is that during peaceful protests, it is requested or advised that the participants are not to be armed, and not to present that idea of an opposing threat, which would include weapons or things of defense. So they are asked to operate peacefully, although sometimes it does get out of hand with things getting burned. They find things in or around the environment to cause damage. They are never brought into the situation armed or ready with devices and stuff like that. I mean, later on in the situation, you'll hear that Kyle Rittenhouse claimed to have been assaulted with an explosive device of some kind, and this is what led to his first or second act of Casualty.
Due to the ground. Hannah Giddings says her boyfriend Anthony Huber tried to stop the gunman using his skateboard, as seen here in these pictures. He came at dude rolled onto the ground. He was just gonna tackle dude to the ground. Hannah Giddings says her boyfriend Anthony Huber tried to stop the gunman using his skateboard, as seen here in these pictures. He came at dude rolled onto the ground and had like a perfect vantage point to just put one in him, and he did. Police eventually arrested 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse of Antioch, Illinois, in connection with 2 deadly shootings. A GoFundMe was set up for the other man killed, 36-year-old Joseph Rosenbaum. Giddings says her boyfriend died trying to save others. If those 3 hadn't run up on that dude, he would have opened fire into the crowd. Who knows what he would have done? He already killed someone. He killed someone already. And then he killed my man. The love of my life just ripped him away like.
And I know a GoFundMe has been started for Anthony Huber as well. Hillary, what about the 3rd man who was shot?
Well, Joyce, what we know is he's from West Dallas. He was shot in the arm. He was actually with a group of Milwaukee protesters when a bullet struck him in the right arm, but we have learned that he's in stable condition.
Hey, so a few more facts that stand out. One is the fact that Rittenhouse was given a rifle and a bulletproof vest. The bulletproof vest to which he denied. As if, I mean, if I had to imagine a conversation, it'd be like, damn, why do I need a vest if anybody's going to attack me? Don't you see this big old rifle I got? I can shoot somebody or I can kill somebody if it's ever in my defense, right? All right, so just imagine why if he's just rendering the little EMS, Christian guys in that little movie about dude catching grenades on the battlefield without a rifle, armed to protect. I mean, just put the differences in the clouds that we choose to submerge ourselves in and the distortion of what's really going on every day. All right, so in light of that, now we got a situation where there was 2 people dead and 1 person injured in this, an entire person. Like, this is not even what I want to say. Like I told you, I'm catching this freehand and I'm going along with it as I'm seeing it. But even in the twist and bends of that, consciousness, the video that they show is, I don't know if this even matters though. It's like directly in contradiction of what they discussed at the trial, because he didn't get hit in the head with a skateboard until he killed the first person. So they totally overlooked the fact that he already killed somebody, although the female in the video mentioned it. He killed somebody already. And then he was attacked with a skateboard, to which he killed another person. And then he was attacked again, I guess. This person was armed. That's why I say beware of who you keep around you. I don't care about none of this. Normally, people who start shit in these type of situations, the people who don't belong there in these type of situations. There was one person who was armed. This last person who was armed was the person that was shot in the arm. The only one that could potentially threaten your life. He was shot in the arm. The person prior to him had a skateboard and he was killed. The person prior to him threw something. He died because he threw something supposedly that didn't explode but seemed to have explosive contents, to which Rittenhouse could read immediately. And he turned around and was being approached by that same person with his arms outstretched in a strangular motion, and he killed him. He ran down the street. A little while later was attacked by another person with a skateboard. I know his name, but I can't remember his name, but he was mentioned in the news clip. He was killed. And, they had an image of him being attacked with a skateboard, whatever. And there was another person who they don't show in this clip, but was present in trial to acknowledge the significance of his injury, which was him being shot in the arm with an AR-15 assault rifle after he approached Rittenhouse with a firearm himself, supposedly never aimed at him, and we all know was never fired. And so he sustained arm injury from the rifle he was holding, and then Rittenhouse ran until he was in the safety and even more company of his environment, which was the local police somehow. He was never disarmed prior to, during, or after the situation until he seemingly gave up, and they disarmed him and whatever they did conversationally on the way to the jail. All right, so the last question is Rittenhouse guilty? And what is he guilty of? All right, so in my opinion, I would have to say that yes, Rittenhouse is guilty. The reason I believe he's guilty is because he went to this Black Lives Matter protest knowing that he was going to be an opposing figure. He came there with a plan. He came there with ability, resources. He was scheduled for a place to be. He came there with seeming justification for every step that he took. He was even given a big old orange suitcase as an EMS indicator, but he never carried that exact suitcase with him. He actually carried a shoulder strap EMS bag, seemingly. We don't know what was in the bag, but he didn't carry the suitcase that they showed that he came out there with. He came out there with a plan. He came out there, he denied his bulletproof vest, and he came out there with a rifle. And this was in some type of secrecy because they never thought to alert the authorities. He knew, especially considering every situation. I'm pretty sure he's well written or well versed on every situation of this kind prior to this incident, such as the incident in Georgia where the citizens' arrest went totally wrong. So being aware of all these things, all this potential disaster, he still went out there in his secrecy and performed as well as he thought he could. And now he's even versed in how to defend that matter as far as a structure of self-defense. I even take it all the way down. Not only do I question the policing involved, but I severely question the guy who's actually recording. The justification of it all. He did you come out here? What did you come out here to render EMS? And he didn't even he automatically gave him the suit to be covered in. Did you come out here to give EMS on something that wasn't even going on? Then he was seen casually, almost jokingly running into the crowd with a rifle, screaming medic, 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 with a bunch of people who were obviously in no type of harm. So he obviously didn't have the means or the competency to assess the situation for danger or injury in either understanding. And here he was ready to actively engage with a rifle. So was his intentions ever to go to that? I mean, even the police advised to use several steps of deadly force, such as approach, taser, then weapon. You know, his whole idea was an EMS bag and an AR-15 rifle. He didn't even want his bulletproof vest just in case he was attacked. You know, in the end result, 2 people wound up dying and 1 person wound up injured. You know, so. Yeah, I think he's guilty. Not only that, but I don't think he should have been charged with the charge that he's been charged with. It's cool, and especially understanding that he was 17 with a rifle. You know, his rifle. You know, the things that were given to him, resources that was available to him within this place for no other reason than to have them. The only reason I would figure that he wouldn't be charged with murder one would be that he had no specific victim in mind. But this plays kind of into the mind of like a serial killer or a mass shooter, you know, because he had no particular victim in mind, but he did have intent to kill should it be necessary. So he didn't go out there specifically to murder a specific person, but he did go out there with a plan, and a plan to murder if it came down to that situation. So, I mean, should he be charged with murder one? I mean, it's an idea of murder one is just something that we ain't never seen. It's like the 80s when they first found out about serial killers, you know. But yeah, so like he went out there actively and ready to engage. I forgot something severely important. I hate when I do this, but the importance is now, and this is what I'm telling you. So yeah, I do think he's guilty of it. Do think that he went out there with the intent to kill. He was severely misled. The trial is kind of messed up because it should have been a whole lot more people. And I mean, you should definitely call into question the local policing. I mean, I've been to Iowa and stuff like that. I know how messed up it is in those areas. I almost cursed. But I'm from Chicago, so I know how messed up the police is in that area. You know, so and I mean I'm in Florida. I know how messed up the police is in this area, but up there specifically is crazy. And I mean it's all is seemingly one mind. But I mean yeah, because it's all local government, you know. But yeah, so that's what I feel about the situation. I feel like. I feel like he guilty, and that's the fact of the matter. I mean, that's the fact of the matter. So I mean, let me know. I mean, what you think, what you feel. I mean, change my mind. Shit, I'm down for it. So just get with me, get at me, and leave it down there in the messages. Like, share, and subscribe, and let me know what's up.